Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to after our fantastic session, moving on to the other fantastic next segment that we have, we present to you yet again at the futuristic meet, that is of course GCX Summit 2022. We bring to you only and only futuristic leaders. So yes, a future teller who's here to tell you about the future of conversations with AI. Let's give it up for Mr. Gokul Gopal Krishnan, Senior Vice President and Business Head Asia, Uniphore. With a big round of applause, let's have Mr. Krishnan on stage with us. Mr. Krishnan, so as you walk towards the stage, we'll briefly let you know about the tradition at Exito, right? So we want you to give a very short, super brief, non-tech only, again, non-tech only answer on. Please come on up, Mr. Krishnan.
Sure.
So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Krishnan here has done his bachelor's from University of Madras and master's from University of South Florida. But as per Sare Jahan Se Acha Hindustan Hamara, what is the one thing that University of Madras has that University of South Florida could never even dream of?
That's a very simple answer. The best idli and sambar ever.
Completely agree, completely agree. Fantastic answer, sir. Stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I have the picture on. I looked very different in the previous one, so I thought maybe I had a morphing or AI morphed me or something like that. Can I have a click, please? Yeah, sorry. Folks, I know it's been a great day of sessions so far, and I know you're all looking forward to meeting up with others, and I'm so sorry that I had to interrupt between you and lunch. I always dread that, so I'm really, really apologetic about it. But I will make it fast, I will make it brief. But what a session it's been so far, right? Especially mind-boggling stuff from Vijay. I need to call that out. And I'm going to be very upfront, right? And I know most of you are going to say the same as well. You don't go to these conferences and you figure out that a lot of things that are said, you already know about it. Whether you agree to it or not is different, but Vijay, you did talk about something I've not heard in the past for a long time. So congratulations on that. Very, very, that's a really good stuff in any conferences. You hear something for the first time, it makes you want to go back. So today's plane ride for me is going to be searching all the dark stuff. You just told me not to do that as well, just so that you know. When you shouldn't have said, don't do it. You know, every one of us are going to do that, right? You know how the human psychology works anyway. But thanks again for that. And the reason why I bring that up is some of the things that I'm going to be talking about, especially EQ, right? I mean, and we still haven't even touched upon SQ. That's a great, for my next sales pitch, that will be the SQ piece of it. But EQ is something I'm going to be talking about and very relevant to overall what we had. I run the APAC business for Uniphore, a conversational service automation organization. I will talk about who that is, what we do, etc. If I can get this to work, though. Yep, I can't get that to work though. It's moving here, not here though. I don't think we have the right screen on the... So why don't I do this while I don't want to waste too much of your time. So Uniphore was incubated out of India. And incubated out of IIT Chennai, and there you go, and founded by two entrepreneurs who right after college started this, and they've taken to what is one of our proudest moment, right? And this is not just a proud moment for Uniphore, it's also a big, big proud moment for the tech ecosystem in this country, incubated out of IIT Chennai, where our origins were. To be called a unicorn just 3 months ago at a 2.3 valuation, 2.5 valuation, 2.5 billion valuation, we kind of breached the unicorn status by a mile. Exactly 10 months ago, 12 months ago, we were roughly around the $700, $800 million range. And for us to triple that valuation over the course of the Series D and the Series C funding was a big, big moment for us, a very, very proud moment for us. And I bring that up because not for anything else, that the industry we are in, what we try to do, what we are trying to do, and the change that we are trying to make is very relevant, and the industry seems to be agreeing with that as well. So what are we? And I'll talk about that in detail in the next few slides, but we are a leader in conversational automation space, multiple set of products, and we'll talk about our platform approach that we have, but more importantly, the success that we have had globally. APAC, Asia, India, still our home turf. We do very well in our home ground, but away, unlike the Indian cricket team, we are actually doing well on foreign onshore as well, right? So we're doing phenomenally well in North America, in Europe, now in Australia as well, and I run some of those geographies from all the way from ANZ to India, including the Southeast Asia and other geographies as well. A lot of success, and we'll talk about what is driving that. So we, as I said, we follow what's called the platform approach. It's the conversational automation platform. On the leftmost side, what you see is our self-serve, use self-serve. The rightmost side, on my right, is the conversational AI or the self-service, the traditional voice bot part of it, right? So we are in the contact center automation space, and we heard folks from Ozone talk about some of those pieces. The first one you see, the self-serve, is where when a customer calls into a contact center, it is the first form of defense, the first form of interactions that you have with a contact center, whether it is inbound or outbound. How do you automate some of the very trivial requests? And again, I want to be very clear, and I echo some of the sentiments that have been said in the previous conversations. The bots are not here to replace humans, but to augment that. And that you will see as the common theme across entire suite of products that you see across our platform. So self-serve is the standard conversational AI, speech bot, chat bot across multiple channels, omni-channel, etc. But now we also know that most of those interactions cannot be automated on a bot, and there is going to be human interventions needed on most of those transactions, especially the complex queries, complaints, etc., which is when the call gets transferred to an agent, where our agent solutions come in, which is the UTrust and the UAssist solutions. UTrust is one of a kind. You probably have heard about voice biometrics, authenticating customers who are calling in, especially in BFSI. Some of the banks here piloted it a few years ago, have kind of moved away from it because of dual authentication anyway being needed in this country. But voice biometrics was on the customer side of it. Uniphore, for the first time, and this is a post-COVID invention in that sense, brought the authentication of the agent. All these days, contact center agents were sitting at home, sitting in the premises of their companies. They were in the security of those. They were governed by the security that those organizations put in, which means that you didn't need to authenticate an agent. The very presence of that agent in that contact center seat was good enough. But today with COVID, with majority of the agents that moved out of those premises into their houses, and where we started getting complaints about roommates, family members, neighbors taking calls instead of the actual agent doing it because they were now sitting at home, became a huge liability problem. And today we have statistics to show that almost 50% of those agents are not coming back to the premises. They are going to be sitting at home still taking those calls. So it became a big security issue, which is when we developed UTrust, and that's where the platform helped us because it's already part of the platform, and where we now authenticate the agents real time based on the conversation, based on their voice, and it's just not voice, there are multiple modulations to that. Authenticate them and make sure that the agent who's authorized to take the call is the actual one doing it. That is UTrust. But our flagship, our hero product, is what you see next, is the UAssist product. That is the real-time analytics, which is while the customer is talking to an agent, real-time alerts are thrown into the agent system telling them about sentiment, what should be the next best action based on what the customer is saying, what the workflow itself is, and a couple of acquisitions that we have made in the last 6 to 8 months have kind of augmented that capability as well, which is when the agent is talking to the customer, how do you make the agent a smart agent, a super agent in that sense. That is our assist function. But more importantly, there's something called after-call work that the agents do after the call is over, which is they summarize the conversation. They kind of, if it's a service request, they go to a CRM and write all the notes on it. Then they create service requests, all of that. But since we are listening in real time, our software is listening in real time, it goes and does that. And that's where the productivity increases significantly, and we have seen upwards of 15 to 16% reduction in the overall talk time, which is either you see that's cost savings or increased productivity. However, an organization needs to look at it, but that is the kind of savings that we are bringing in. And finally, UAnalyze is our historical speech analytics solutions, which is to look at both the agent-side conversation as well as the customer-side conversations. Traditionally, speech analytics has been used on the agent side for quality automation and making sure that the agent is following scripts, adhering to certain compliance, etc. But we have gone a step forward and now using it on the customer side for voice of the customer, propensity models. Is the customer most likely to buy? Is the customer most likely to churn? All of those now can be built on the Analyze solution. So when you look at it, self-serve is the conversational AI, trust is our biometrics on the agent side, assist is the real-time analytics, and Analyze is the historical speech analytics, all of them on a single platform, learning from each other. So you would get an intent on the bot that you know that can be automated, and then you go and use that to analyze those conversations. Then you go back and see that, okay, these are conversations that the agents are handling on a day-to-day basis. These are very mundane conversations. Can we go and automate it? And then when those calls get transferred to an agent, how do you help the agents do it better? So they feed into each other, and that's why the platform approach has helped us significantly. So I'm quickly going to play this video just to give you a kind of put it all together on what I just talked about, and we'll shortly talk about it.
We are in the era of AI-powered conversations, where 57% of customers still prefer calling and speaking to customer service agents. How can conversational AI and automation expand beyond chatbots to drive automation throughout the entire journey? Uniphore's conversational automation platform combines conversational AI, workflow automation, and RPA to drive automation, transform customer experience, and improve operational efficiencies. Meet Andrea, a premier bank customer. Uniphore's Use Self-Serve drives automation and lowers cost by deflecting calls from higher-cost agents for transactional queries, such as address change, password reset, and more. Use Self-Serve can also detect when a call should be transferred to an agent and provides them with a summary of the conversation so they can pick up from where the bot left off.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you for calling Premier Bank. I see that you are calling to dispute a charge on your account. Is that correct?
Hi, yes. I don't recognize that overdraft charge.
As a Premier customer, your overdraft fee is waived, and we will credit your account.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I think I'm good now. Thanks.
UAssist guides the agent through the conversation with alerts and next best action agent guidance based on the customer sentiment, intent, and emotion. UAssist also leverages attended RPA to drive desktop automation with knowledge base integration based on conversation. Once the call is over, UAssist summarizes critical information from the call for the agent to upload directly to CRM system, thus reducing time spent on after-call work by 50%. If promises or commitments are made during the call, UAssist registers the promises and leverages unattended RPA to fulfill them after the call. Post-interaction analytics with UAnalyze provides valuable, actionable insights on agent performance and customer sentiment to allow quality managers to review and identify coaching, as well as opportunities to optimize future interactions. In the era of working from anywhere, security is a challenge. Uniphore also builds customer trust by seamlessly authenticating agents with voice prints using UTrust. Conversations mean everything to us. Learn more at www.uniphore.com.
Thank you, guys. So quickly, I know some of the questions in most of your mind would be the conversations were in English, American English. What does Uniphore do? Again, as I said, I run Asia business. None of my customers talk that way. We support all global languages. Our products, each of them have certain capabilities around local languages as well. Some of them are more mature than the other. For example, real-time is Hindi, English, all of them combined. Historical almost does every major Indian language. So obviously, we can learn more about it. But what I want to leave you all with is, in the interest of time, I'm going to skip some of these slides, is We talked about voice being one of the channels, right? But when you look at conversations, as I said, Uniphore is a conversations organization. When you look at conversations with COVID, with some of the transactions that are happening, a lot of them are video-based. So what Uniphore is pivoting to, and the next, the next logical evolution of us is to start doing the video bit of it as well, and that's where a product is called Q, fresh off the market, probably 2-3 months old. But I want to leave you all with this, because this is where the innovation is going, where now the emotional quotient, the video capabilities, the human emotions, all of those that are captured here. Please meet Q.
Feature. We put the product in production.
This is Todd, an exemplary seller in his prime. Hungry, talented, but lost in an unnatural habitat. The environment he once thrived in has been replaced by an unfamiliar world.
Hello?
The landscape has changed. The room full of smiles and handshakes has been replaced by stoic and distracted faces. Todd is overwhelmed. He can't empathize with customers the way he used to, and is missing the cues.
I'm not missing cues. Am I missing cues?
This is Simon. His job is to make all his sales force a success. That means coaching, training, and enabling his team with data and resources. The messaging needs analysis. The blind spots need illuminating. Todd needs new capabilities to meet the moment. And this is Q. Well, it's Todd, obviously, but it's Todd with Q. Q is the first of its kind AI-powered tool to offer real-time sentiment and engagement analysis. This new ability to read the virtual room allows sellers to provide a more engaging and trusted buying experience for their customers. Selling in the virtual environment is not the same as in the room. Sellers need new tools to meet this moment. This is where Q for Sales can help.
This is where I can help.
Q allows sellers to get inside the mind of the customers to develop their EQ. If you can't build rapport, you can't close the deal. Verbal, tonal, and visual cues are all provided in real time with a UI that fits seamlessly into your existing tool set. Todd doesn't need yet another tool in his tech stack. He needs something that makes what he already has better. Q can provide best practices based on validated engagement and sentiment scores, helping sellers to shift customer sentiment on the fly. Todd isn't blowing his sales calls anymore.
I wasn't blowing my... Where's that voice coming from? I think it comes with the software.
I do not come with the software. I'm a narrator.
Well, you could try a little empathy next time. Maybe.
Q is an intuitive platform that is easy to learn and even easier to implement. In literally minutes from starting with Q, you can see immediate value.
What you'll notice from this product is...
Look at Todd now. Just moments ago, he was floundering and lost.
Come on.
And now he is thriving, in lockstep with the customer and marching onward to success.
I mean, I do appreciate the help. Thank you, smarmy British lady.
Q can never replace the sellers on your team, but it can make them their absolute best.
That is Q, and I'll leave you guys with that. We are here in our booth, so please drop in and say a quick hi and any further questions that you may have. Thank you.